78.6 FM Yomatan, positive vibes with Winsome. Welcome back to another wonderful Saturday here in Okinawa, here in Yomatan. It's beautiful outside. I woke up today to some beautiful weather. It was just perfect weather this morning. The greenest greens, as always, here in Oki. I can see the ocean when I woke up from my room, and it's just beautiful today. I guess there's no other word I can use to describe what I saw when I woke up this morning. Yesterday was probably the most unique sunrise I'd seen in a long time. The clouds in the sky and whatever was going on up there, it was like a pinkish color that was going on, like a bright pink. If I can describe it any other way, normally where you would see blue in the sky mixed in with the clouds, yesterday morning it was pink. And it was in just in one very broad area here in Yomatan. It was one of the most beautiful sunrises I've seen in my life. It transitioned from a pinkish color over to like a orangish color, and then the colors, whatever they do, I look a few minutes later, they're exploding into the blue that we normally see out there in these Okinawa skies. 78.6 FM Yomatan, positive vibes with Winsome. I'm expecting a couple of guests this morning. Two of my friends are coming in, two of some of my favorite people, Mr. Sky Garricky and Miss Belen Rico. And today we're going to talk about your why. So if you've heard me and Mr. G on the radio before in the past, you've heard us talking about start with why and find your why. And today we're going to talk a little bit more about your why. And speaking of the man himself, my big brother just walked in. Good morning, big brother.
Good morning.
How you doing? There he is. Yes, he just walked in. Thank you. I got one more. Thank you so much. So as we move into the morning, man, and we get him situated, get settled, and waiting on our other guests, I just want to say thank you to the 14,000 folks tuning in here in Yomatan, Okinawa, and across the island. We truly appreciate you listening. And 78.6 FM Positive Vibes radio show wouldn't be anything without you listening in, your feedback, and your love. Mr. G, good morning. Hold on, let me put you on here. Let me see. Go ahead and say it again.
Good morning.
There he is.
Morning.
There he is. How you doing, big brother?
I'm all right.
That's
all
what
right.
I'm talking about.
I've been rushing around this morning.
I believe it. Hey, Saturdays for us, if you guys don't know, me and Mr. G have very busy jobs
Yes,
throughout the week.
indeed.
And so I can only imagine getting situated for the weekend, man. We got a lot of things we try to catch up on the weekends because the week takes us away.
That's right.
Got to take care of everything else, man. So, Mr. G, it's wonderful to see you.
Yes, it's great to see you too.
Tell me about your morning, big brother.
Oh my goodness. Well, Big Sis, my wife.
Yeah.
She is going out to the Karamas today.
That's right.
So
Yep.
she's going out there, and we were getting her out the door and everything. Okay. And I was doing some really good help and getting her gear down to her car.
Yep.
And but I didn't have the key, so I just put it in the back. Okay.
Got you.
And so she thought that I had already put it in the car, and she drove off without it. So half an hour later, I get a call, and it's like, well, you did really nice. Thank you so much for helping, but my stuff is still there. So I had to rush down to the marina really quickly. Like I drove like a bat out of you-know-where.
That's right. You got to get there. So the Canadian Marina from here is a whole nother drive in itself. That's a good husband.
But we
man.
did. We made it. 10 minutes to spare, and everybody was happy.
Let's go. So Big Sis, Miss G, man, she's been here on the show before. If you guys are just tuning in and seeing Mr. G for the first time, Mr. G and Miss G are two of my favorite people, man. And I love having them in the studio. I love telling stories of Miss G kicking Mr. G in the face while they're scuba diving. I have Mr. G and I got out the pool on Tuesday.
Yes, indeed.
And if you guys haven't been tracking my story, I'm the guy that wanted to learn how to scuba dive, getting over his fear of open water, and got to the instructor, and the instructor's like, hey, bro, quick, can you swim? And I was like, nah, I didn't know that was a thing, right? I thought you could just jump in and the equipment does everything. I don't know what I was thinking. Mr. G's taking time out, and for the first time in this little journey, I was able to tread water for a minute.
Yes.
Man. And it might sound funny for those of you who know how to swim, but for a grown man learning how to tread water for the first time and being able to do it for a minute.
Full minute.
The mechanics, the little things that we've gone over this past couple of weeks. I had to take and we've taken a long time off.
Yes, we did.
it was crazy. Like every time we set up a Tuesday, we like I said, our day jobs, we get pulled in many directions.
One thing or another.
So I had a large gap in between the last time we met and this past Tuesday And I remember getting in the water, and Miss G was leaving. And I was still like, I just want to be here for a second and be in here. And then Thursday, we got called off because of the weather.
The weather.
So the Okinawa, they were lightning within 5, so they canceled the pool. They told me I had to turn around. It was like a big kid. I had the towel over my shoulder. I walked up with this big old smile, and the guys at the desk were like, sorry, sir, we just got a notification, lightning within 5. My whole heart fell out. Hey, but we're back in there Tuesday.
Yes, we are.
And I'm learning the breaststroke.
That's correct. Breaststroke this time.
Let's go.
That way you can keep your head above the water and feel more comfortable.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you guys didn't see the first time I didn't tell you the story, I'm the guy that gets in the water and panics, especially if I can't see, I can't reach it, or I can't get it. That was me when we got started. Now I'm in the water and I'm safe. Mm-hmm. And it's not just because Mr. G's there, but it's because the mechanics he's taught me over the last couple of weeks, and I get it. Like, I have more control than I realized I have.
Yes.
And it's really my breathing.
Yes.
My patience with myself, and also making sure I'm doing the right motions, right?
That's right.
So that was, I mean, that journey, big brother, man. I'm gonna talk about that his retirement ceremony. You don't know I'm bringing this up at his retirement.
You know it. You know it.
Hey, 78.6 FM. Before we jump into it, Mr. G, what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about finding your why.
Let's go.
Yeah, and it's a really good book that Simon put out after his Start With Why.
Yep.
And we're going to go over a little bit of the Start With Why just so that we can set that foundation.
Okay.
But then after that, we're going to go into the finding your why.
Let's go.
You know, and I told you that, you know, we might, do a little exercise, practical exercise at the end. And I don't know, I might backtrack on that just a little bit because the process is a little bit more than I actually remembered.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, we could probably try to squeeze it in. Maybe we'll see when the show comes out. But
let's go. Hey, I told Mr. G, I said, I trust you. You know, anytime he comes on the show, this is my favorite Saturdays. So he might throw some curveballs at me, and y'all better not laugh. But I'm excited about it, man. These topics, and I'm going to play a song for you guys if it plays with no issues. But these topics, understanding your why your why is important, and starting there as your foundation of movement. There was a song I found that I was listening to over this past couple of days. I'm leading into this discussion. So it'll be playing while me and Mr. G are getting ready and waiting for our next guest. But I really wanted to really think about why it's important to make sure you understand why you do what you do.
that's right.
Because a lot of people do things, and then if they don't get hit the result that they're expecting, it's kind of like knocks them off course. But what was your why in the first place?
Exactly.
Was it the result? What was energizing you? What was your purpose for getting out there and doing what you do? So, Mr. G, let's start it up, man.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Well, we're going to cover just the wave tops of the Start With Why book.
Yep.
And the real crux of the book starts with this thing called the golden circle.
Yep.
Okay, so the golden circle, if you picture concentric circles, on the outside is the what. It is what you see. It's the end goal. It's the end product. It's the what. Then in the inner circle, there's a how. Okay? And then finally in the very, very middle is the why. And the reason why we want to start with the why is because then we can go to the how and then produce the what.
Okay.
Okay? But if you don't start with why, your motivation is not there. You don't know what you're doing, and it doesn't make sense, and it just doesn't work.
Give us a picture for folks who are trying to picture concentric circle and where Y falls. What would that look like?
So if it looks almost like a target.
There it is. That's what I'm waiting for. Yep.
If you're looking for a target, then you're in the middle. That's your why.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to ask, well, why did you brush your teeth this morning?
A, so my breath won't stink when I'm talking to you.
Okay.
B, so I wouldn't have any food in between my teeth.
That's kind of a what?
And C, because it's hygiene, right? I just want to make sure my mouth is clean and fresh.
Exactly.
Okay.
Your why is so that you can keep your teeth until you're 90 years old.
Facts. To dig deep. Yeah, so I can
dig deep.
Keep my teeth longer. Yeah.
Okay. So why am I teaching you, now going back to the pool, why am I teaching you how to swim?
So your why or my why?
Your why.
My why. My first why was because I'm getting over fear.
Okay.
And the second why is because I want to be able to teach my kids.
Those are really good whys.
Let's go.
They're going to keep you motivated and inspired to continue on with that process.
Got you.
Okay.
Got you.
Another is you want to see God's creation under the water.
That's right.
And in order to do that, you need to learn how to swim.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And he says this. He shows me the coolest pictures and videos, man.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime that my motivation might be a little off, he always shows me something. I'm like, okay, I got to get in there.
Yeah, Big Sis takes great pictures in the water.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Yes, sir.
And the same thing goes for your for starting this radio show.
Yes.
What is your why for starting this radio show?
To be able to speak life into other people.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Your motivation, your God-given abilities to help people see things a different way.
Right.
Give them a different perspective and motivate them to be better.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
And you're adding value to somebody. That's the real why that keeps you going.
Facts.
And if you lose that why, what happens?
I'm not going to have the same energy.
You're not.
Right.
At all. It's going to be fuzzy. Now, who we got coming in here?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, walking in the screen right now is my little sister, our little sister, Miss Blend Rico. Hey, ma'am. Hey, good morning. How you doing? So, Miss Blend, let me just tell you guys a quick story about Blend Rico, okay? First and foremost, we knew she was going to be late. Okay, I built it into the schedule. This first segment was started a little late. Blend, let me make sure you're on the mic. Go ahead and say something so I can test it.
Hello.
All right, try one more time.
Hello.
I think that's it. One more time.
And good morning.
Hey, there she is. Good morning, Miss Rico. How are you?
I'm great. Do I look at you or do I look at this?
You can do whichever you want. So we look at each other and then we look at the screen sometimes.
And we look at the screen.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a little combination. I'll do it. So this is Blend's first time in the studio. Blend has been my, long story short, secret weapon throughout the last 6 to 7 months, accomplishing a lot of the things that I have wanted to do on this island. My little teammate and hero, not just moral support, telling me the things I need to hear, not just the things I want to hear, so I can make sure I'm doing things the right way. She gets on my nerves sometimes, but in a good way, right? I'm saying in front of 14,000 people. Yeah. Hey, 78.6 FM Yomaton. If you are just tuning in, you are tuning in with myself, Mr. Scott Garricky, and Miss Blend Rico, and we are talking about Start With Why. Let's go.
So we're going to turn around and ask her.
Let's go, Mr. G.
Why did you show up this morning?
Woo! What was your why?
What was your why?
My why was knowing that Winsome was counting on me to be here.
Yes.
So I had to make sure that I kept to my word and showed up.
So it was personal integrity. That's your why.
Yeah, my personal integrity.
Personal integrity. That's
Let's
huge. Go. That's huge.
Let's go.
And that's going to be the thing that motivates you to keep doing that in the future. If you give your word, you say your word, then that's what people come to rely on. Hey, she said that it was going to happen. And I know that she's going to do it. That's your why. And that's your motivation. Everything can be related back to why. And it's so important to do that and not focus on the what. The what is, yeah, you're here and people hear your voice. Okay, that's great. But why is because you said you were going to be here, and it really it resonates with Winsome, because he's going to say, she said she was going to be here, now I can rely on her, and then that word gets out to other people. There you go.
Yeah.
And she's reliable and consistent, even when she's late. 78.6 FM, positive vibes with Winsome.
Okay.
I have a question in front of 14,000 people. Did you bring my book this morning?
So what happened was...
See, this is where we go. So if you guys if you didn't know, recently I was invited to go teach J1 at SOCOM, which for the military, that is a really cool opportunity to be able to teach emotional intelligence. So there's 2 books that I usually pull, got trained and now pull information and research. And one of those is Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Another one is Emotional Intelligence Teams. And then the one that I'm looking for from Ms. Blend Rico is Emotional Intelligence Team, so I can get a refresher. But I'm really excited. Mr. G and I were tracking this week for the first time that it was official. So as I'm leaving for my next class, I'll be stopping over for a day to teach EQ to another group of individuals. And it's such a blessing to have these opportunities. I'm sad because usually Blend finds a way to meet me at these places. Somehow we've always lined up and she's been there when I've teach new groups. But this time, she won't be. Hey, check this out. 78.6 FM Yomaton. We'll be right back after this break.
Right.
Y'all ready? We got 16 seconds.
You got it.
I'm gonna try to play a song at the beginning. Give us time a little bit to chop it up.
Okay.
.6 FM, Positive Vibes with Winston, and I'm back with Mr. G and Lil Blend, two of my favorite people in Okinawa, two of my favorite people in general. Hey man, we were talking about start with why. I'm going to test something. I haven't done this in about a year. As you guys know, one of our sponsors is Fearless Motivation and also Fearless Soul for 78.6 FM's Positive Vibe radio show. There's a song, you guys can hear it on the radio listening. You can probably listen to it on the recap, but you can't hear it like watching this on YouTube. So if you're watching the video on YouTube and it cuts out, that's why it's a copyright thing from the company. We're working through that. So let me go ahead and play this. I'm going to test this out. See if it plays for everyone. And if it doesn't, then like I told you guys, I'm testing it. So. And no, I'm not getting anything coming through the feed. Let me try one more. There we go.
That's it.
78.6 FM Yomaton. That was Your Reason for Breathing, Fearless Motivation. And if you guys haven't listened to Fearless Motivation and Fearless Soul, it's not a shameless plug. That's literally gotten me through a lot of adventures in the United States Air Force, man. Those words are very powerful, and it coincides with the lessons that we teach here. I mean, there's not one lesson that I've taught that I couldn't find it on Fearless Soul that kind of inspired me to come in this room and speak to you guys. And that's what I listen to when I'm on the Lighthouse.
That's right.
That's all I listen to. I don't listen to any kind of music, hip hop, R&B. I listen to something that's speaking life into me and give me that energy back, that recharge. All right, I'm going to test you guys sound real quick. Belen, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. G, can you hear me?
Super.
Mr. G, we got about 6 minutes to jump right back into it. I want to take a quick break since Belen finally showed up without my book. And we're going to 78.6 FM Positive Vibes Radio Show. We're talking about your why. Mr. G, let's go.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so Simon likes to go ahead. He is such a great writer about leadership, and he has so many great lessons that leaders can learn, especially when you're reading your Start With Why book, you know, and it's really how leaders are supposed to lead. You know, he talks a great deal about that because they inspire, they give you big challenges. And as long as you have established that why, then it motivates and inspires the person. Okay, it builds loyalty as opposed to just he talks about a transactional leader versus one that inspires. A transactional leader is basically one that uses positional authority. Yep. I'm in charge. You're going to do this, right. You know, and that's, you know, a transaction. Okay. If then, you know, that's it. Yeah. But a leader that inspires will get that other person to be able to take risks and feel safe in taking those risks because they know they're not going to be, you know, fired or cut out or whatever. It's going to look like an opportunity to learn something. Right. Because, you know, Thomas Edison, 2,000 ways not to invent a light bulb. He only needed one. So anyway, that's what the rest of the Start With Why book really focuses on. And then he transitions in Find Your Why, transitions into so now that we know what leaders are supposed to be doing and why they're supposed to be doing it, then we need to find, if you need to find your why, or if your organization needs to find their why, how do we do that? You need to build a plan, right? Because a plan without a goal without a plan is just a wish.
Just a wish. Yeah.
So anyway, it really is a great book. And in the first chapter, he just goes over really a recap of Start With Why. Gotcha. Chapter 2 talks about hiring. It talks about building that tribe, building that team within your own organization. And we did this with Belen when she was interviewing for the position at the McDaniel Center.
The NCOIC spot.
The NCOIC spot. And one of the first question that we asked is,
what is your why?
What is your why? Why do you want to work here?
Yep.
And do you remember what you said? Yes.
What was that? Let me go ahead and turn it back out. What was your answer?
For the people.
For the people. For the people. I was like, hire her. That's cool. That was a cool answer. Let's go. All right, for the people? What is your why? Was that it? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. It was to be able to make a change for the new incoming airmen. And I think it was just really important because their first base is so, like, detrimental. It could be a success for them staying in or getting out. And so I just really wanted to make sure that if I could be any type, a little percentage of, to have an impact in their lives, it would be for them.
Mm-hmm. You see, that is an others-focused answer.
Yeah.
Others-focused. She wanted to have people inspire them and add value to them in their professional career, because you were the first face for most of those people here at this base. I mean, other than their sponsor and so forth, but the first professional development face that they saw, and you were inspiring them to be better, and you wanted to help make that change, right? You wanted that opportunity, and that is exactly your why aligned with the values and beliefs that we had at the McDaniel Center. And we saw that. And so that's the reason why we gave her the opportunity to do that, right? Okay. And that's what you want to do. If you're in a hiring position, whether you're the hirer or the hiree, you're the interviewer trying to get into a position, you want to explain your why. And it's not self-focused, you know? It's going to be others-focused or organizational focus. I can bring these experience in here because I see a change that might need to be made, or I believe I can make a greater contribution to your organization in furthering the values and beliefs that you have. Okay? That's what you're looking for. And if that person is telling you their why, and it aligns with your organization's goals and beliefs, boom, hire.
Sounds like the right fit.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So that's chapter 2. Chapter 3 goes into the individual discovery process for your why. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next segment, is really covering down on that. So,
hey guys, if you're just tuning in, 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. We're talking about finding your why and start with why. This book right here we're talking about is Start with Why. Is that correct, Mr. G?
Start with why is the first part, and then the next part's find your why.
So we're moving into both. We got about a little bit of time left into the segment. If you're just tuning in, it's me, Winsome. We got Mr. G, Scott Garricky, and Miss Belen Rico. We're so grateful that you tuned in this morning and you're listening along wherever you're going throughout this beautiful island on this amazing day. It's just gorgeous out there.
Gorgeous.
We can see it from here. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. We'll be right back. .6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. I got my favorite people back in the room with me. Just new energy today, man. I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Mr. G and Belen made it out. Thank you, Mr. G. Hey, see? I already told y'all. I just want to look at the beautiful views. And Mr. G and Belen made it out today, man. We're talking about find your why, start with why. What is your why? Let's break it all the way down, right? Really want to give a shout out to the folks who've been supporting this journey real quick. Trainerswarehouse.com. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much. Free Period Press. And also, of course, Two Roads Leadership and Flatter Inc. For all of the support, guidance, and also encouragement along this journey. Mr. G, let's pick up where we left off, big brother. What are we talking about?
We're going to start with why. And really, it's your own personal why. Okay. If you don't know your own why, it makes me wonder, why do you even get up in the morning out of bed, you know? It's just otherwise just stay in bed, you know. So it's really about finding your why. And what happens after you know that you should have a why, but you don't know how to get your why.
Yeah,
that's what Simon does. He does it really, really well in his book Find Your Why.
Okay.
And so basically, we talked about the first chapter, which is a recap of Start With Why.
Yep.
And then the second chapter deals with hiring decisions. Okay, we talked about that in the last segment and why we hired this young lady over here.
Right. Aim high, fly, fight, win.
It's for the people.
For the people.
It's for the people.
Yes.
Okay. And then chapter 3 goes into the individual find your why process and
Gotcha.
steps. Okay. So that's what we're going to start with and start going over. The very first thing you need to do is, do you have a good friend or somebody that can speak truth to you and be objective?
Yes.
Okay.
That would, so friend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say my friend Joy.
Okay.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
So Joy would be able to talk honestly with you, and you would trust her.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. All right. So Joy is going to be Boleyn's partner,
Yeah.
or basically going to be the facilitator for you. Okay. Now, got to understand, in this particular process, she is going to be the one that's going to be objectively looking at you. Okay. She isn't going to take your biases and your past stories and times together. Okay. She's going to be looking objectively at you. And the first thing that she's going to do is she's going to ask you questions and to gather stories from you, okay, in your life experience. And basically what she's going to do is she's going to look for patterns, okay, themes, what they call golden themes, okay. We'll talk about that in a second. But basically, she's got to take down the specifics and the details. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to find your why from those stories, okay? And after you've captured those stories. So just not the details, but the whys and the emotions behind that. Some of the questions that she could ask you as you find out these stories. Now, first, these stories are ones that really impacted your life, okay? Really made you feel a certain way. Okay. And the questions that she's going to ask you are things like, how did that make you feel? Okay. You're going to get those emotions. You're going to get that feeling out. Okay. Then she could ask you, what do you really love about that experience? Okay. What did you really love about that experience? Another one might be, what lesson did you learn from that experience? Okay. What lesson was it that you learned from that experience and that carries on with you today? Okay. Some things along those lines. Gather 5 stories as a minimum, 5 stories and that had a great impact on your life. And they don't have to be just good stories. They could be the bad stories too, you know, because we learn, at least in the military, you know, we learn lessons, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We learn lessons from good leaders and we learn lessons from bad leaders, don't we?
Facts.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Indeed.
Okay. So anyway, you do learn those lessons. I remember, you know, Maya Angelou, she always says, people will forget what you said.
That's right.
People forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's right.
And I had a 2-star general when I was briefing different things in Transcom movements and so forth. And as I was briefing him, you know, he would just be this grumpy old guy. Oh my gosh. And, you know, I was just briefing this one story where we were muscle moving CENTCOM movement, and it was outsized cargo, and they needed to go on C5s. Okay. And there was only, you know, C5s, you could flip a coin, and that's how it depends on it'll fly today or not, you know, because the MC rate is not really that good. So we knew that. But we knew that there was only limited amount of C5s, and this movement had the same delivery date, and there was only one C5, so we couldn't take them.
Okay.
So I went to CENTCOM and I said, hey, look, which priority do you have for this one? Okay, let's move this one first.
Okay.
So we put that one on there. Well, the next day when I was briefing the general, he said, why isn't both of those moving? And I was like, well, sir, here's what we did. You know, I explained the thing. It was well, you don't set the priorities. JCS sets the priorities, the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Yeah.
JCS sets the priorities. I said,
Uh-oh.
yes, sir. Okay, I got it,
Yeah.
But it was just one of those things where you could never please the guy.
Wow.
He made you feel like this big the whole time. And I was just like, okay, thanks, boss. But, it was just one of those things where you learn from that type of leadership.
Right.
And that's the ones that take you forward so that when you're in a position of leadership, you don't do those kind of things. Did that make you feel this big and empowered and inspired? No. Nah. It didn't at all. Right. It made me feel defensive.
Right.
And do you think I'm going to be honest with him at that point?
Nah, you don't even want to be around him.
Don't even want to be around him.
Right.
Say the minimum that you can, and that's it. Andy Stanley, you know what he always says, a leader who doesn't listen will soon find himself surrounded by people who don't have much to say.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It's just ridiculous. So anyway, and all those stories are the ones that you want to gather.
Gotcha.
Okay. And that interpreter interpreter is actually taking those down and looking at the impact. Okay. So they're going to write your stories down. You're the storyteller. They're the interpreter. And you're going to look for the contribution that you made on other people's lives. Okay. The contribution that you made to other people's lives and the impact of that contribution. Henry McCord, I was helping him with his DTS voucher the other day. And, I was walking out of his office after we got done. He said, "Hey, Scott, hold up. And he comes over and he tucks my tie back underneath my collar. And he said, "Oh, you must have gone to the gym today." I said, "Yeah, actually I did. I just came back." But he, so that's a story, right? Yeah. Now, the story is the contribution is that he tucked my tie back in. That's great, and I really appreciate that. But the impact is minimal. Right. It's like putting a kick me sign on the back of my head. It's like, okay, you look at he can't get his tie underneath his collar. The impact was a little bit. So you're looking for more than that. You're looking for more of the general stories that I just talked about. So, and then the interpreter is going to take a look at that, and then your partner is going to look for those golden threads. Okay, those golden things those themes that really resonated with you, that had an emotional impact on you. Okay, and you're gonna, if you see those themes, like that made me feel empowered. That made me feel smart or strong, or something like that. If you got a story that does those two things, or does it twice, then that's a theme. That's something that you need to pay attention to. Okay. So that's what you're looking for in step one. Okay. Step two is to identify those themes. Okay. They become the foundation for your whole why statement. Those themes are the ones that are going to be the ones that come out into your why statement. Okay. So now that you have the stories and your interpreter has already taken a look at those and drawn out those emotions, you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to divide it in two columns. Okay. The one column is going to be the fact. Okay. Fact. This is what happened. It's just a fact.
Gotcha.
The second is the meaning.
Fact, meaning.
The fact and the meaning. The facts are just that. The meaning column is the emotions that you felt from that. And that's where you kind of identify those themes, right? Made me feel empowered. Made me feel strong. Made me feel smart. Made me feel a certain way. Okay. So going back to Simon Sinek and his why statement, he is inspired. He wants to inspire people to do the thing that inspires them. Okay. That's the basically it's the contribution. He wants to inspire people to do the thing that inspires them, so that, and the impact is then the next statement. Okay. So that
together we can
change the world. So that together we can change the world. Thank you. But that's it in and of itself. That's step two, is you're finding those emotions so that we can change the world.
Gotcha.
So step three is then to start drafting that and refining that statement. Okay?
So you have a statement. You've created the columns. You've created what your I guess you call it the theme of what you want to say. But the refining process is actually making sure those words speak for what you're really trying to accomplish.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And it speaks to who you are. You know, it gets down to the core of your being. Those stories that you told your partner are the ones that really impact you. And you have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know?
And a lot of people aren't. They usually say things they think that other people want to hear.
Right.
But not really there's essence of who they are. Truly that. So I think Simon Sinek, like if you picture Simon, all of his mission, his books, and everything he's ever done from the very first YouTube video I saw of him with the little whiteboard, right? I think his mission statement, I can read that and pretty much already know who they're talking about. So that's I think that's wonderful.
It's simple, it's clear, it's actionable.
Right.
You know, and it speaks to the emotion that he feels. You know, it inspires him. It motivates him to get up out of bed every morning.
That's right.
And brush his teeth.
Why do you do what you do? Why do you brush your teeth? And we tease about this. Real joke. We had a joke, me and our teammates were on stage, and they had that the quote start with "Make your bed."
Make your bed. Yes,
so
indeed.
I had to play on that, and I was like, "Brush your teeth." That's gonna be mine. So I'm coming out. It's coming.
Giving out toothbrushes.
Yes,
If they can do make your bed, I'm doing brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth. That's right.
Senior Master Sergeant Winsome Cully takes over the world. Brush your teeth.
That's the start of it all. That's the start of it all.
Yes,
exactly.
What are we going to be talking about coming back, big brother?
So this next segment, we're going to talk about that third step where we're putting it all together. Okay. And we've done a lot of legwork. We've got our partner.
Yeah.
They've listened and we've bent their ear off.
Yep.
You know, it's all bloody now and everything. But they've listened to us for a while, and now we have gathered those facts. Now we've put the facts and the meaning of those facts on a piece of paper as step 2. And we're ready to go into step 3.
Got it. So step 3, coming back with putting your why statement and putting your reason for what you do, what you do and who you are together, the essence of you. What gets you up in the morning, what motivates you, what inspires you, what keeps you going, and what fires you up. Because if you can see it, if you can read it, and you can connect to it, it's really you, then you have a reason to keep moving. Right? 78.6 FM Yomitan, positive vibes with Winsome. I got my 2 favorite people in Okinawa in the room, so you know I got new energy today. I can do a 2-hour segment today. Watch out. Hey, man, we are talking about your why, right? And we have another segment coming back with Mr. G, Belen Rico, myself, and Mr. Scott Garricky. I'm so grateful to anyone who's tuning in. If you're just driving and just listening, didn't know what you were listening to, we truly appreciate your time and value you. 78.6 FM, Yomitan. Positive vibes with Winsome. We will be right back after this break. .6 FM, positive vibes of Winston. We are back. We are back in the studio with Mr. Scott Garricky and Miss Belen Rico. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
We can.
I don't know why she whispers like we can just hear this on the radio. I can't. You know how to.
Loud and
Hey,
clear.
absolutely loud and clear. Loud and clear. Aim high, fly far away. Hey, we are back. Mr. G, what were we talking about, big brother?
We're talking about start your why or find your why.
Nice.
You know, we started with why and why that's important, and not to focus on the what.
Yep.
But really to start with the why, because that's the heart and soul of everything. But then, well, what if you need to find your why? How do you go about doing that? And that's what Simon Sinek put together with his book, Find Your Why.
That's right.
So
we put some pieces together, though, right? We've been doing some building blocks.
We sure have.
Okay.
We actually started with step one. With step one is really the prior step one is to find a partner, right?
It is.
Someone you trust.
That's
That's
it.
right. Someone you trust. Someone can be objective. Take that 50,000 foot view.
Say that. Explain that again. Someone who can be objective.
Okay, so you don't want a yes man.
There it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody that comes up and says, "Oh yeah, you look good.
Yeah.
There, yeah, you always look good."
Yeah.
You know.
But you
And
didn't brush your teeth.
But you didn't brush your
And then
teeth.
you didn't brush your teeth. I
You
didn't
didn't
want
get
to
the
tell.
haircut. You didn't get your haircut this morning.
Did you shave? Did you shave? You missed that right there.
So yeah, I got it. I just want to make sure I was tracking what objective is.
Exactly.
Thanks, big brother.
You got it, brother. So basically, you want somebody who's going to be honest with you. Okay, somebody who's going to be able to just be there and be objective. Okay, gotcha. And then that person has to be able to. He's got to be he or she got to be able to be draw out questions. Or say questions that draw out stories from you, okay? And they're gonna they're gonna write down enough detail to be able to put together some themes, okay? And so details that had impact on others. Okay. Not just the details of, it was a yellow car, you know. It wasn't that. It was, hey, this was a really important part of my life, and this is how it impacted me. Okay. So asking those questions, how did that make you feel when you tell that story? And if they ask you, what did you really love about that experience? What was it that struck you, you know? Or what was the lesson that you learned from that experience?
Got you.
And that keeps on with you today. And they're really just looking at the contribution that you made to somebody else, okay? And that emotion that you felt from doing that, because that's really the heart and soul of your why statement, okay?
Got you.
So after you've done that and you've done step one, step two is to take that sheet of paper and put facts on the one side and meaning on the other. And facts are just that. So your interpreter is telling you what these are, the facts, and then looking at the meaning. What was that emotion that was tied to that story? Okay, and from that 2-page or 2-column page, you're going to find themes. Okay, you're going to find the golden theme. Hopefully, a golden theme is one where there's 2 or more of the same emotions that you felt from the story and from the facts and the stories that you had. Okay, so you're looking for those as well. Step 3 in this whole process is to draft and refine a statement. Okay, now the format for the statement is very simple. It's 2 with the blank, and the blank is the contribution. 2 contribution, so that impact. Okay, so 2 inspire people to do the thing that inspires them. That's the contribution, so that we can change the world. Together, we can change the world. That's the impact. That's Simon Sinek's why statement. And it's clear, it's actionable, it has an impact on others, okay? And it's simple, you know? It's very simple, and you can memorize that right off the bat. So that's the type of theme that you're looking for, and impact to the other. So that format, you go ahead and write it down. Don't overthink it. Spend 5 minutes doing it. Don't overthink it at all. Make it simple. Make it clear. Okay? Just put some words down and then go from there. Let it sit. Okay? And Simon says, put it down for a couple days.
Yeah.
Let it alone. Let it marinate is what I always like
Let
to
it
say.
marinate.
Let it marinate.
Yeah.
I say the same thing.
He said, so let it marinate, then come back to it.
Okay.
Okay. Then look at it again and spend some more time on it, and really make sure that it captures the words that are authentic to you. Okay. They've got to be your words and your themes, because honestly, it has to feel right, not just sound right.
Gotcha.
And it has to be your words. You know, it has to speak to who you are. And that's how it does. And it captures your feelings. And if here's Simon's real mantle is, if those words are not ones that you're willing to have tattooed on you, they aren't the right words.
Those ain't your words.
They ain't your words yet. Try again. So until you're ready to commit and put those things tattooed on your arm, then they aren't your right why statement yet.
So that was me 20 years ago.
Still him.
Exactly. So basically, it's a statement that completely captures your feelings.
Got you.
Okay, and everything that you feel about your life.
Okay.
Okay, and how it impacts others.
Gotcha.
Because isn't that what we're all about?
Yeah.
You know, we're all about helping other people.
Yep.
You know, that's my why statement.
Yep.
It's really to help other people, and I've got to work on mine a little bit. I'm still marinating a little, so
It's not a tattoo yet.
that's right. Yeah.
Looking for it.
But you know, it's one of those things that I have a feeling like I know what I'm supposed to do based on the experiences that I've had and the knowledge that I've gained.
Yep.
I know that there are things that I can do to help other people.
Nice.
So that's going to be a part of my why statement. So,
Got you.
but I have to have a partner that might be able to speak objectively.
Let's go. Tell him what he needs to hear. not
That's
what he
right.
wants to hear.
That's right.
Brush your teeth. Cut your hair, Winsome. Cut your hair.
Here, let me fix your tie.
Hey, just came back from the gym. 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes. And Winsome is just tuning in. We've been talking about start with the why and find your why. Mr. G, if you want to recap real quick the steps, we got a couple, like a minute or so.
Yes, absolutely. So step one, find a person who really is objective, who can talk plainly with you, who isn't afraid to speak the truth to you.
Gotcha.
Okay. And the next step is really to have that person gather the stories from you. Okay, gather stories that made you feel a certain way, stories that were based on an experience that you had, and the feelings that came from those experiences that carry on with you today.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you've gathered the stories. Then you're going to take a sheet of paper and you're going to put two columns on there. One is facts, one is meaning.
Facts and meaning. Two columns. All
two
right.
columns. So the facts are just that, just the detail, the fact of the story.
Got you.
The meaning is the emotion that was tied to that story.
Got you.
Okay, and once you have those two, then you're going to go ahead and draft a why statement.
Let's go.
And the format of that why statement is to whatever your contribution is, so that impact.
Got you.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to challenge. We're going to come back. I owe Mr. G a why statement next time we get back together. Just a draft. It hasn't been my official tattoo yet, right?
That's right.
But I'm going to owe you a piece. We're going to challenge Belen, too, next time we get them both in here with a why statement. She's going to have a tattoo, though, right? Hey.
Henna. It'll be a henna tattoo.
Aim high, fly, win. Hey, guys, 78.6 FM, Positive Vibes of Winsome. To everyone listening in for the past episode segment, we truly appreciate you. Mr. G, Mr. Scott, Garricky, Miss Belen, Rico, you guys made my whole weekend better. Thank you so much for being here. Today was start with why and find your why. Mr. G broke down some steps to help you guys apply it as soon as you stop listening. You are loved, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. We'll see you next week. Positive Vibes.